Liverpool have had a rocky season so far, with unstable performances and results. Just recently, they struck back after being humiliated at Anfield against Real Madrid in a 2-5 loss by smashing Manchester United 7-0. Even with a strong win against their rivals, the Reds are still far off the level they did perform at earlier. So what does Liverpool's future look like? Are they going to be able to change this series of bad results and be one of the strongest clubs in Europe again? We will talk about every problem Liverpool is facing and how they're going to deal with them. We will analyze every part of the team from defense all the way to the attacking players. We'll also discuss Jürgen Klopp and the club's management. So, let's jump into it. Since the goalkeeper position seems to be in good hands with Alisson, let's start talking about Liverpool's defense. The performances of Matip and Joe Gomez are not satisfactory. Konate and Virgil van Dijk had many injuries, so the Reds are looking for a new center back. They're missing his robustness. The Dutch captain is 31 years old when he's missing, and there's no substitute, with Liverpool conceding 47 goals in 36 games this season by the time the video is recorded. That's why the Reds are seriously looking for other options. In Portugal, there are two strong candidates. Liverpool is closely following the growth and evolution of Antonio Silva from Benfica and Gonçalo Inácio from Sporting, who are being carefully observed by the English scouts that are searching for the new Van Dijk. Besides these two young premises, the Reds are also following a few other center backs. Guardiol from Leipzig, Ayef Agurd from West Ham, Per Schuurs from Torino, and Levi Colwill on loan from Chelsea to Brighton, and Jared Branthwaite on loan from Everton to PSV are some of the main names Liverpool would like to count on next season. The fullback position once was not a problem in Anfield. Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold used to be top level, the best you could get, but now they don't look like the same players. The team is struggling both in the defensive and offensive processes. It's like they completely forgot how to play with each other. It shouldn't be a problem since they've been teammates for a long while. The only big name that left Anfield is Sadio Mane, who went to Bayern Munich. The midfield is probably the section of the team that needs to be renewed and worked on. It's not that the players are not good, but they are old and can't perform like they used to. The only exception is young Spanish Stefan Bajcetic, who's performing the best out of his midfield teammates recently. The Reds are interested in a number of players, including Borussia Dortmund's Jude Bellingham, Chelsea's Mason Mount, and Wolves' Matheus Nunes. And they should aim for big names because the other English teams are as well. Chelsea spent over £100 million on Enzo Fernandez, Arsenal signed Jorginho, and Manchester United won Frankie de Jong. The Reds are expected to make big moves in the transfer market after a sharp drop in results and performance in this 2022-23 season. In a press conference, Jürgen Klopp addressed the issue, speaking openly about the need for reinforcements despite the uncertainty surviving his side's ability to qualify for next season's Champions League. The question, however, will be how much money Liverpool can spend. They've never been big spenders under Klopp, and with owners looking to sell the club, one can only wonder how much money the club will be able to spend when summer arrives. While waiting for his possible summer reinforcements, Jürgen Klopp and Liverpool will have to end their season in the best possible way in order to compete at least in a European Cup, and if possible, the most beautiful of all to attract significant recruits. The Reds will have to continue their rise in the standings. After all, they have one of the best players in the world, and that is Mo Salah, of course. But the Egyptian is once again the subject of speculation regarding his future. His agent spoke about the rumors surrounding Salah's future. The word on the street is that the winger could be looking to leave Liverpool this summer. The Egyptian king would leave at the end of the season if the Reds ever failed to finish in the top 4 of the Premier League, which would deprive them of the Champions League next season. However, his agents denied this desire on his part by writing on Twitter, "It's absurd. It was never discussed or considered. Not qualifying for the Champions League did not even cross our minds." By sharing the points with Crystal Palace last Saturday, Liverpool found themselves 9 points behind 4th place. But if they were to miss qualifying for the Champions League, it would be a first for the Merseysiders, since 2016. And Salah has been at Liverpool since 2017. We know that it's not his best season in the red jersey, since he's not scoring as many goals as he used to do when he was in his prime. But he remains a strong man in Klopp's band. How can it be otherwise, since he just became Liverpool's all-time leading goal scorer in Premier League history with 175 goals? Maybe he's missing his fellow African companions, Sadio Mane, but Liverpool has replaced the Senegal star with two very talented players. One of them is Darwin Núñez, whom ex-Liverpool coach Rafa Benitez has compared to former Liverpool star Fernando Torres and explained the similarities between the two forwards. Recruited at a hefty price by Liverpool from Benfica last summer, Darwin Núñez is struggling to fully prove himself. The Uruguayan, who has scored just 6 goals in 17 Premier League appearances, must regain his confidence and prove he's the man. However, Darwin Núñez has shown bits of his potential this season, and if he's not yet unanimous, the Uruguayan international has the support of his German coach, Jürgen Klopp. He said Darwin has the pace to run and put in the defensive effort, and he's an attacking threat who just needs time to adapt. Finally, let's talk about Klopp. Is the German going to stay at Anfield, or will he leave if the club doesn't qualify for the next Champions League? His time at Liverpool could come to an end very soon. After a season in which nothing goes right for the Anfield team, which is practically out of the next Champions League, the coach can breathe new air. To stay alive in the Champions League, Liverpool needs to reverse against Real Madrid in Spain. A negative balance of 3 goals, something that even the fanatical fans have little hope for to happen. Furthermore, in the Premier League, the team will struggle to reach the top 4 this season. Meanwhile, Klopp is starting to come into the sights of other clubs, with Inter Milan being the main invested party. After the 5-2 defeat against Real Madrid in the first leg, Liverpool suffered the harsh law of the merengues in the Champions League. The team will face big challenges in both competitions. Theoretically, they can still win the Premier League and the Champions League, but it'll be very hard for them to lift up a trophy this season. Let's see where they will end up at the end of the season, and how actively they're going to be on the summer transfer window to fix the problems they've been having so far. Liverpool is going through a complicated season and will have to rectify the situation next summer to become competitive again in the Premier League and in Europe. Distanced in the Premier League and already eliminated from the 2 national competitions, Liverpool must now save its season by qualifying for the next Champions League, or at least a European Cup, and prepare for the next season. Klopp said, "It's a summer where we have to be in the market, definitely. I'm sorry, I can't guarantee the Champions League at the moment, but we will fight for it, I guess. But we have to start working early, before we know where we will end up in terms of the position and the European competition. These things are clear." He even admitted that Liverpool might need to adapt their transfer strategy after a surprisingly poor season. And in light of the spending seen at clubs like Chelsea and Manchester City, Liverpool principal owner John W. Henry hinted this week that the club is confident of securing new investment after a long search. But it remains to be seen how quickly this will be finalized and what impact it'll have on Klopp's budget and plans for the summer. They'd probably be a lot higher on the table if they could count on Diogo Jota, Roberto Firmino, and Luis Diaz. But still, they have invested a lot of money hoping players like Darwin Núñez and Cody Gakpo can help the team back to success. It would be historical if they could do a remontada in Madrid to turn around their Champions League score and maybe win the trophy. But let's be serious, that's almost impossible. So it looks like the Reds aren't going to lift any trophies this season. If you want to dive into Liverpool's problems on the pitch, check out this video next.